Oh yeah, we back with another episode of The Twisted Tea, where we come to bring you the news with a twist. And today, well, we already came to you once, we're coming to you twice. And we brought up a Young Thug earlier and everything going on with his trial and how he got out. And now, oh, you might not believe it, you might believe it, whatever. Megan the Stallion, we're going to do a little digging into her. She did a little bit of lying in an interview. Kevin Durant went out there and basically was like, look, I don't play ball for you. So is he gambling on himself or is he not? Could he care about others gambling on him or does he not? Real quick, well, young Dolph. We all know what was going on with Dolph in his murder case. And if you don't, two out of a couple other people, one of them was convicted. Another one did get also convicted, but one out of the two people that was convicted of recently, he got a lifetime sentence plus 35 more years. So if he found his way out of his lifetime sentence, guess what? He wouldn't. He'd be back in jail for another sentence of 35 years. Shit, sounds crazy. Which they said that Yo Gotti's brother, quote unquote, paid to have happened. Whatever, he passed away, unfortunately. All of that stuff will clear itself out as we continue to get older. More of it will come out in the wash later. I'm pretty sure of that. And last on the list for tonight, we're going to dive into some more Diddy news. You see, somebody just went inside the courtroom today and decided to that they called out and they said that they got this guy whom we'll get into happens to have some footages, a few tapes, some unreleased things that some people have or may not have seen as all of it was taking place. So we're going to dive into that. With that being said, in the Diddy news, we'll get into it. We'll get into his lawyer. We'll get into how they are going to try to utilize this person and what they have for evidence. All right. First things first, we'll be pulling up is going to be the what Kevin Durant went on to say. Now, give it a second as the internet has been lagging, and we waiting for that to come up for you. All right. Like I said, as the internet's been doing its slow thing today, not really sure what's happening out here, but internet hasn't been fun. So as of right now, y'all can't get it, but what I will say is it's telling me it's sharing, but it's not showing me that it's sharing, so I'm unsure if it is or isn't sharing for you all right now as we speak. But I will go out there recently, finally. All right. Kevin Durant recently went out there to say, as you can see, it says Kevin Durant in trouble for sports gambling controversy. Almost positive that majority of the athletes could care less about our parlays. Okay, just saying. So sports betting has taken over professional sports since gambling has been legalized across the United States pretty much. I mean, there might be a couple places it's pretty much been legalized all over the place. Athletes haven't been able to avoid the impact of legalized sports betting either, as we've seen some athletes getting in trouble for their choice of attempting to bet on themselves or other individuals. Now, that was exactly the case for NBA star Kevin Durant, who now plays for the Phoenix Suns and has been for a few years. But you see, the Suns staged a comeback victory against the Clippers. I actually watched that game. I felt like they would win. But I didn't really play with Kevin Durant that day. Because for me personally, here's a little bit of advice for you. Only use him on Thursday, and we won't get into why. But if you see him play on a Thursday, that's when you play KD. Now, Durant took to Twitter to let fans and bettors know he does not care much about how they, as the Suns, came away with the win. So, great dubs, Suns. And for my Parlayers, better luck next time. Laugh out loud. Durant tweeted after the game. Now, I will say, I know most people don't believe it. I believe sports are rigged. That's just me. Believe what you choose. I believe that there's more going on, which again, why he decided to let y'all know better luck next time. So, look, great dub for the Suns. Better luck next time. Now, a lot of people took exception to this, and you know they went. You know the internet don't play around, and it decided to go try to air him out too. All right. Let's see what the internet said. I hope none of these extra sounds are playing in the backgrounds. Okay. Um, it says, whatever. My son won't be able to eat tomorrow, and it's your fault, one fan responded. I'm gonna be honest, okay? If you was dependent on that for your child to eat, then that should not be what you do. It shouldn't be what you do. You gamble with played funds after, not what you survive. Throwing it out there. Now, next person goes 0 shots attempted in the fourth, even when you had the green light. You knew what you were doing, but it is what it is. I said the same thing. I was a little confused at why he wasn't shooting neither, but then it kind of dawned on me that everybody took him to score. And it didn't happen. Same thing with Steph Curry, if you all weren't paying attention in game one. He had like 20 points. When does Steph stop games with 20 points? Okay? Doesn't happen. It wasn't even you. It was that European useless center on your team. So he bet on the guy on his team. And then he wrote, you under guy anyways, old and dusty and musty and crusty. Been taking the unders on you. So that fan kind of knew what to do. They said, yeah, I've been taking the unders on your career anyway. Because they just know that he's getting old. And no one is putting you in a parlay. You blew a 3-1 lead and then went to the team that beat you. Told you the internet's undefeated. And they not lying about this. No shade. I don't think KD has ever won money for me. At least I don't think KD has ever won money for me. Shaking my head. Selfish, bruh. As funny as it's going to have to do something about its athletes being of the gambling lines or the integrity of the game will be compromised. Look, okay? I'm going to go out there and tell y'all right now, of course they know, and they've always known, all right? They that locker room, and they know what's going on. They know what points were put on them. They know what they can do. They know what they can't do. Just the way I feel about it. So again, it doesn't come as a surprise when KD tweets this type of stuff out and tells you, well, good luck, better luck next time. I'm not scoring today, right? Because more often than not, like I said, it's all quite the staged event. After KD done did what KD did, that's cool. Enjoy it, KD. Your day will come, okay? And guess what? Wouldn't be a surprise if it would be unfortunate, but it wouldn't be a surprise if KD ended up injured throughout this season, because I think last season he didn't. So, it's only bound to come. But thrown out there. All right. We're diving in here. Okay. You see, the reason that this struck me so odd, right? And so interesting was because everybody knows. Well, again, I keep saying everybody, but I'm going to go on and assume some of y'all been under a rock, okay? Even if you haven't. But a lot of people know that got into something last year with Tory Lanez, okay? And they were in court because they said she got shot in the foot. I haven't seen the bullet. All right, the girl seems to walk around just fine. Now, I ain't saying she ain't get shot in the foot. I am saying she might not have gotten shot in the foot, though. and that I needed more evidence for me personally to believe it. Here we are a little bit of time later, and well, Tory Lanez has been suing his old. Tory Lanez is now gone on to sue his old attorney, right? Because he said that she was playing both sides in a sense, because she also worked for Rock Nation and really was trying to represent them because she works for the president or the lady above at the top of that. Now, why all of that comes into question and is brought up is because if Megan Thee Stallion went on air, right, which she did, and openly stepped back to admit that she was lying, I question how much more did this lady lie about? What else has she lied about? Okay. What else? So let's see. Now, Gail King, that's Gail, all right, that's Megan, went on to share her reaction and professional response to Megan Thee Stallion's following release of the rapper's new documentary. Wow. So, for those who don't know, Megan has had to sit behind the fence since, when I say behind the fence, last year wasn't nobody calling her to come to no party or play Barbie or dress up. They nobody want her around. They were like, nah, she got some stuff going on. Because again, at the Kardashians' house, where have you seen her back there since? Or have you even seen her there before? And why would Tory Lanez even be at the Kardashians' house when he knows every time somebody go there, something bad happens? And it might not be in the media, but definitely in their life, you give it some time. So I don't know why he would have went. You know why he went. He went to go get them guts, okay? And she let Tory in. Yeah, Megan says she let Tory in now. In case you missed it, the Houston rapper recently released her documentary titled Megan Thee Stallion in Her Own Words, which makes walking fans through her healing. That's funny. I ain't watching. Ain't nothing to drink in there. Damn it. She's walking fans through her healing. I ain't gonna get up and get it, don't worry. As she continues to walk fans through of what took place in 2020. Now, Tory Lanez, in a viral clip from the documentary, you see, Tory's also went out to state that he claims his innocence throughout this, and he claims that the labels were setting him up. All right. Now, I know the labels are good for setting people up. So I ain't going to sit here and be like, yeah, damn lie. They good for that. They good for that. And like I said, I ain't seen the bullet yet. Okay. Yes. This is what she said. All right. Because the journalist asked if she had ever been sexual with Tory Lanez. All right, now I gotta clear my. All right, she goes, yeah, B. To Gail, B. Megan states in the documentary. First of all, I ain't know that B was even gonna ask me some ish like that. I thought we were gonna be talking about the shooting. Why are you asking me about bleeping? She asked you about bleeping Tory, girl. She asked you about because she wanted to know if y'all were intimate prior to this happening and if there's more to the story, right? Which there is. All right, there is more to the story because yes, she was bleeping him and then went out to be like, he shot me in the foot. And I always question, well, damn, why are you gonna shoot you in your foot if you bleeping him? But whatever. Okay. You took the Stallion away. Back into the article. I didn't know she was even gonna ask that. That's not what this is about, even if it is. I bleeped that bleep once, maybe twice on a drunk night. But she kept catching me she kept catching me out of my bleeping mind. So you admit that you did it once, quote unquote, maybe twice, quote unquote, on a drunk night. So could it have been 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times? I don't know. I don't know. Tapes never came forward. Just like I ain't seen the bullet. Now, Gail has now responded to the clip. Okay, she was like, yo, Megan, I know you lied. I'm not surprised you lied. I can see it in your eyes when you lied. All right. I know what I got bleeped face looks like, and you had it on the whole time. And instead of just being honest, you decided to try and keep your coochie together. And we know it's a hot box coochie. Okay. You decided to keep it together and straight tell us, no, now. All right. When that ain't the case. So no, Gail isn't mad, but I'm sure Tory is fuming. All right. So the new project primarily focuses on the Tory Lanez shooting. Megan discusses her incident, basically talks about her battle with depression, feelings of betrayal from friends, both inside and outside the industry. Again, let me just be one to tell y'all, okay? You was over the house of one of the Kardashians, which at the Jenners, one of the Kardashians, they weren't your friends to begin with. You ain't grow up with them, and they damn sure ain't grow up with you. All right? So let's not act like y'all were friends to begin with. Okay? And when it comes to the industry, all right, you all, let me clarify this for a lot of people. You are peers. You ain't friends. All right? You're peers, not friends. So don't be surprised when they turn their back on you. Because they go, this lying. She lying. We know. And they turn. And now she has managed to return to the spotlight stronger than ever. Listen, all right. When the elites chose her role as being the person to take down Tory Lanez, because they know what he like, right? When they chose that, they told her, you're going to suffer a little bit because you did something stupid. We're going to pull you out the spotlight, but we'll put you back. Don't worry. You won't lose out. All right? It might be all temporarily. And with that being said, she said, check mark, I'll take that. And here we are. Now, what gets me with all of this is, it isn't that she lied about this. It isn't about she lied. I expect it. Okay? I expect it. Right? And not for nothing, again, they needed her this year because look at this. Kamala Harris, a probable, what? They're going to try and do some little reconciliation between her and Nicki. Ain't going to happen. And she discusses women dominating the rap scene. So they, this was a good time. And as you've seen, they tried to pull up all the female artists they could and stick them up in front of the public for voting purposes this year. So, the plan was set. It was all there. But what gets me about this is, why is she suing? Why is Megan Thee Stallion suing somebody else? Okay, let me take you to that, because Megan Thee Stallion right now is getting ready to sue. She getting ready to sue she's suing, and I really figured it out. All right, so let's dive. Megan Thee Stallion is suing a content creator she claims is a mouthpiece for Tory Lanez. Now, who cares? That's my thought, right? Like, who really cares if she was a mouthpiece for Tory Lanez, unless he's stating something that you want kept quiet, all right? For Tory Lanez, the artist serving time. Now, hold up. Okay, now, the WAP rapper whose real name is Megan Pete. Now, again, this is, I want to say it's relatively, Yeah, look, this was published today, so it's very new. Let's not act like this is old. It is very new, published today. Oh, it was published yesterday. It's the first today. It was published yesterday. All right. Filed the lawsuit in Southern District Court of Florida Wednesday against Milagro Grams, whose legal name is Milagro Cooper. PD alleged is intentionally causing her emotional distress on behalf of Lanez through cyber stalking, promoting a sexually explicit deep fake video of her, and questioning whether or not Lanez really shot her in the foot. I mean, shit, I question if you really shot your ass in the foot too. But I ain't gonna go out my way to cyber stalk you. Nah, I ain't gonna go through all that. I got way too much going on. And I damn sure I ain't get no fake video of y'all. So I have to pause because if I got the video, you know what? I might sell it. I might air it out. I don't know. Okay, I can't. And I damn sure ain't that big of a person. People are gonna care enough yet that I got the video. So now, if the video is out there and that person is shopping it around and it is a fake video, I can understand her wanting to get that taken down. I can understand that. If it's a real video, I can also understand her wanting that to get taken down, right? The industry. But I don't like cyber stalking. Okay, it can be annoying. Cyber stalking can probably be annoying, right? It's a nuisance. But other than cyber stalking, like you're like they cause an emotional damage to you, and it's like, let's be real. Let's be real. All right. Megan, I doubt it. I doubt that this person caused you emotional damage for them sharing their opinion. You share yours all the time, you lie. So the defendant Cooper went so far as asking her followers if she has a guardian or no, and whether Miss Pete has ever been deemed like legally retarded. You know, I know this is gonna sound messy, but like that it's messy, but I don't like, hey, you asking other people on her page, you asking questions, big deal. There are teachers out there that say worse. I've heard. Okay. Not all, but I've heard. All right. In a YouTube video, Cooper denied any wrongdoing and said Pete is a victim. Hey, they got those shit. Plenty of people play that goddamn role, professional victims. Cooper has over 74,000 subscribers, basically, on YouTube, and more than about 16,000 follow on the streaming platform Twitch. Shortly after news today lawsuit broke, Cooper posted a news release from Unite the People, a nonprofit law firm. Unite the People will not stand by and let a jury system or a billion-dollar corporation popular celebrities take advantage of a small guy and attempt to silence someone from their First Amendment. The release shares and reads. Listen, okay, we're all on here. We all say what we have to say. Some people say more than others. Some people say their side specifically. Some people actually give you facts that are broken down inside of everything. Some people give you a mixture of both. I try to give you a mixture of things that are supposedly factual from what we're seeing and what we're told. And then I try to go, does this shit even make motherfucking sense? And after that, I go, what, why, how? and try to find the other side so that I can get the full version of what goes on. Now, with that, I do not feel as though we as people should have to watch what and or how we say when it comes to our amendment right of freedom of speech. That's the point of it, right? Now, I will say, if there was a lot of hateful terms, words, and different things being used, I could understand that being an issue, right? I could understand that being an issue. But for someone just to be speaking on what they feel from what they said, you don't want 74,000 other people to take that opinion or idea on. And so you try to silence it. Now that's a little different. Behind the scenes, films show Pete and her waiting outside of Lane's trial. You know, Megan Thee Stallion also lost her mom in 2019, admits that the docs that she still feels people are mad at me because I said what happened. She was obviously happy when he was found guilty. And I don't feel to the place where I do feel like I'm getting to the place where I don't really care. For the first time since my mom was taking care of myself because I wanted to feel good, she said. Listen, I'm going to go out there and say you should always take care of yourself. All right? You should always take care of yourself. We're going to find, realistically speaking, I'm going to be honest with you and say I think it's a little petty on Megan's part to go ahead and put out a lawsuit on a YouTuber. She looks like she's taken right after her friend Cardi B, who also went for defamation, yada, 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 and won that. Again, I do think that, it's one thing for you to speak your mind. It's another thing for you to speak on a situation. Now, if evidence has been presenting itself, which evidence has been presenting, and you happen to be speaking on it, look, we all have a difference in opinion, right? There's always going to be a difference in opinion in a lot of issues. That's where maturity comes in, people. So always take care of yourselves. If you ain't learned nothing from Megan Thee Stallion, stop snitching. Take care of yourself first. And speaking of people who take care of themselves first, we got this guy, the D, the I, the D, the D, the Y. Oh yeah, it's Diddy. Woohoo! And I'm going to take you to what has gone on recently in the Diddy news lately. Now, we all know his ass always, all right? What he doing this time in court? Might come as a surprise to some, might not to others. So let's dig into this and see. Now, this right here, as you can see, let me make sure you can see it because you might not. All right. As you can, did it pull up yet? It hasn't pulled up yet. So Live Nation went out there to state and or put out a video. Diddy's court witness says he saw 8 sex tapes. That's right, 8 sex tapes with at least 2 minor celebs.
Of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that. He answered what he could, given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
I mean, he threw that up.
And of those 8 celebrities,
two males.
How many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
That's his lawyer. Now, I do have a longer version of this, which we will get into.
Appear to
Let
be
me
right,
rephrase it.
based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appear to be either inebriated or intoxicated or into the influence?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
Yeah, all of them.
I think all.
That's what he going
To be
to
honest,
I mean, what else can you
all.
say? You don't really know the answer to
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized,
Yeah.
meaning
Victim.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how what they was doing.
Hold up. So, with that, as you can see, all right, this man here was supposed to be friends with Kim Porter. How close they was, I don't know, right? You don't know. We know that Diddy kept locks on Kim, no. So for her to come out now, like, look, all right, I'll be also think that, the first kid was his. So to LB, and they all came out with that. So if LB Shore was around, Diddy was like, all right, you know what I mean? He do got the kid, yada, 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 whatever. But how many other times did you see her, like, hanging out, doing stuff, chilling with other people? That's right. Kimora Lee Simmons. So Burgess testified before the among the 8 celebrities who were Combs victims, 2 to 3 were minors, but he said 2. Okay. Burgess also received a manuscript from Porter's alleged memoirs titling Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice for the Other Side. The book details abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, coercion, and other acts of violence Combs allegedly committed. It started at $22 on paperback. It went to Amazon and sales skyrocketed right after he got arrested. The attorney in this case, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I find to be very interesting because I have seen this woman in a couple places say a couple things that I had to question, and I was like, I felt like the guy earlier in this that was right into Megan Stallion's pages. Like, is she all there? Does she have somebody? And the reason why I say that is because comes out this woman's mouth, it really makes me shake my head. Okay. Now, with this stuff going on, you have this cat, Mark Gregonos. He's not buying the new allegations. You see, criminal defense attorney Mark Gregonos, whose daughter represents Combs, not buying the allegations. Let's see what he had to say. Why is he not buying these allegations? With that being said, I think that it when you go, how did you receive the tapes? Oh, Kim gave me the tapes. Now, I know we're going to run through these ads, and when the ads finish, we're going to listen to what he says. The reason why I say it comes in question because he's like, yeah, Kim gave me the tapes, right? Now, with that, Kim isn't around to say, yes, I gave him the tapes. Okay? So we don't know for sure that that's how he got the tapes. Number one. Okay? Number two is New York does not allow people in the courtroom, right? So if he's doing this in front of the grand jury, right? And so they say, we as the outsiders They probably not letting anybody inside there. So again, the question to that is, do they really exist? Do they really exist? Right? Question to that is, does it really exist? Because they're not, I didn't get to see them. You ain't get to see them. We know they got tapes out, right? We know we were told about these tapes and these things. Oh, they're on the black dark net. That's great. Ain't nobody put them up though.
Before the grand jury in the Sean Diddy Combs case,
Right.
Courtney Burgess, former associate of Kim Porter, that's Diddy's ex-girlfriend, mother to 4 of his children, and unfortunately, the woman we've seen in the video. The allegation, he has seen, that's Cassie, not Kim Porter. Cassie's the one we saw in the video.
Get your shit
It's hard to keep him straight, let's be honest.
Bullshit.
All right, so he has seen story. Salacious videos of Diddy and celebrities engaged in sex acts, including with underage victims. He also alleges to have the unedited version of Kim Porter's diary. True? What's the chance? And if so, so what? We know many lawsuits have been filed against Combs alleging abuse. Many of them, to this point, have been anonymous. Now, there is a reason that people are often allowed to allege and be anonymous. However, a judge ruled that a woman who anonymously sued Combs this month for rape must reveal her name on her lawsuit or will be tossed out. The lawsuit alleges Combs raped her in 2004 at a party in a Manhattan hotel. She was 19, college student, also allegedly ordered her to perform oral sex, or else he would have them both killed, her and a friend. Otherwise, he would have them both killed. What does this mean for that lawsuit? What does it mean for other ones? All right, I want to bring in one of Combs' former lawyers, Mark Garagos, and a lawyer who represented dozens of victims in the Jeffrey Epstein case, Jennifer Freeman. Good to have you both. Counselor Freeman, welcome to the show. Mark Garagos, what's the smell test on Burgess? Seeing videos is different. You know, I was reading reports online that says he has the videos, very different. Because if he has them, then he has to produce them. Seen videos, what would trigger concern of strength in the case?
There is none.
Well, the first thing is I watched, I believe it was a TMZ tape of this young man, and he was questioned as to whether he knows Sean. I believe he said yes for 30 years. They said, "You've met him?" And he says, "No, I've never met him." Then apparently
question marks.
He before said he had tapes. Then it turns out he's seen, and then supposedly has a diary, but now apparently doesn't have a diary. You know what I think, and I find it interesting that you asked me if it was the smell test. I think the prosecutors think that he failed the smell test. I suspect that the prosecutors brought him in front of the grand jury to run it down because I don't think anybody's buying what he's selling.
They should have done that before they brought him on then. Counselor Freeman, let's pivot to this other issue. Of course, you can comment on whatever you want, but the other issue is, what do you make of the judge saying that this plaintiff must say who she is or the suit gets tossed out?
This is very disappointing, and for other sexual assault victims, including this one, it presents a Hobson's choice for her and other victims, meaning she can choose justice or she can choose privacy, but she can't have both.
As messy as it is, I think that in this high-profile case, right, with all of the different names that have came out, well, not necessarily names, but all of the different things that are coming out from all the different people, I honestly think they should produce their names, because here's the thing. This man has been around for 30 years. Okay? And in that period of time, if these things were going on as they allege, and listen, In my honest opinion and in my honest belief, I think that Puffy was the gatekeeper to Hollywood. So you did have to go to his parties, get touched in order to continue on with your career. That is just my personal opinion. So Megan Thee Stallion, don't come sue me. My personal opinion. Now, which is why I say that several of the others that are coming up in this, talking about this, said that he did this, said that he did that, names should have to come out. All of that stuff should be put out there because everyone and anyone, right, should have their fair chance to deal with their issues. He already doesn't have that fair chance because of how everything was already put out there. So he already appears guilty for everything, right? So from now on, it's like, all right, well, if these people are going to come out, let's make sure that they need to be on their stuff too and have it all out there so that the world can see it now, right? We as the people want to see. I don't want to see a named person here and an unnamed person. No, 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 no. We want to see the people, okay? Because that girl that came out last month and they ended up throwing her stuff out. She came out talking about she was, oh, well, I was getting the divorce at the time when I partied with Diddy and they touched me. And then she called her friend to be like, yo, just say my story is the same as this story. So that way we can get the bag together, and called the ex-husband and told him. And then it all got aired out. Just saying. So with that type of stuff going on in these cases, everybody should have to mention everything.
It's
Give me a little bit.
interesting, Jennifer, do you have, because I've had this situation, I've had clients who the kind of that choice, because as I'm sure you advise them, hey, we can file anonymously, but I'm not sure it's going to play out that way. How do you advise a client on that? Because you've done this before.
I've done this many, many, many times. And frankly, it usually works out with an anonymity. Pseudonyms are typically granted, especially in.
It normally works out because a lot of times most of the people don't want to take it to court afterwards. After they get the suit, they're like, I really don't want the rest of the information to come out, so I'll just pay it out. That's why it works. Not any other reason. At this point, they've already beaten him for the money, so he's like, might as well throw it all out there now.
New York, since there is a particular New York civil rights law, Section 50B, that provides for an anonymity and confidentiality for sexual assault victims. So it is something that doesn't seem to have been addressed in the court's decision. I'm not exactly sure why, but certainly it can be something that goes on, that you might not be able to be have a pseudonym, but you usually get it. Now, this is a judge that just recently in the Epstein case also denied anonymity.
My experience is, though, that, and obviously anecdotal, but I'm not in the weeds on that particular statute, but I read the opinion and I thought it was well reasoned in the sense that, look, if you're going to come here, if you're going to file these lawsuits, if you're going to make these allegations, then there's got to be some way to test it.
That's it. If you're going to make these allegations, they're trying to get us, hold up.
Tumble.
If they're going to make these allegations, there must be a way to, what are we doing? There must be a way to test it, okay? Keep that in mind, because I'm going to see what TMZ has to say about all of that there right now, because they also, by the way, got their own little thing going on. We're going to put a pause on that because that's not what we're looking for. All right. These two right here, how we keep calling and stuff. Let's see what Howie say.
This AI technology turns text into animation.
So, Courtney says that he initially was contacted by agents from the Department of Homeland Security, one of the federal agents involved into Diddy's cases. Oh, come on.
Doing a lecture.
One of the people involved in Diddy's cases, Mitchell, says that her client was subpoenaed as she claimed to have evidence to corroborate some of Courtney's allegations. Now, again, it's late ex-girlfriend and mother of four. Now, again, this guy, some days he says he has these tapes. Some days he says he sees those tapes. Some days he says he, helped write the book. Some days he said he reads the book. It's just a little wishy-washy.
At USC. And I got a call from one of our producers. And apologies to the students that I bailed, but we broke a story that Diddy got arrested last night.
Arrested last night in New York City by the feds.
And I got to tell you, Charles, I have never read 14 pages that contained so much
many allegations.
Shocking information and allegations. Diddy, among other things, he has been accused of sex trafficking, to foster prostitution, racketeering, kidnapping, narcotics offenses, arson, bribery. That is the beginning.
And the feds lay this all out. That they say that basically his organization, his company, which they refer to as the Combs Enterprise, certainly sounds more like a
mob,
like a mob outfit.
Combs
that it existed mainly to fuel his desires, often his sexual desires, and they lay out in detail a lot of those sexual desires in this.
And they came out with the baby oil and all the other stuff, but what they've never really given us from any of this is true evidence. That they've told us about all the stuff, but they never said, here it goes. We found the ARs, we found this defaced things, we found some baby oil. They didn't say we found the tapes. Not once. So, which is why it's interesting that this new person, whom is this guy right here, he just happens to be coming up out of nowhere and have and unedited versions of Kim Porter's book, which, all right, we knew that. All right, I can't say we knew. All right, we were told that Kim was going to be coming out with a book. Okay, we were told she was going to be coming out with a book. Now, when we were told that, we all assumed that the book would be about Diddy. And sure enough, the book, it's about Diddy and some of the things Diddy's done.
I know you did mention what was on the flash drive before. Would you be able to kind of go over that now, or is that something that you can't discuss?
No, we're trying to just go to discuss that now, what we will be able to talk to in terms of what was available and what was on those flash drives.
Okay.
But it was the book.
So it is Kim Porter's book, but not necessarily some of the stuff with the celebs that were mentioned besides.
It's hers. Nobody touched it.
Oh, so it is her official book.
Yes.
And no one touched it.
Nobody altered it. Nothing.
So it's not the copy that the gentleman said that he was selling before. No.
So again, he's telling us that the book was on those drives and it's not touched, but no one can go back. Listen, they would have to be somewhere where it showed that he received those from Kim directly.
No.
It's two different copies. That one was edited, and we have the original copy.
So you're saying that the other copy was an actual real copy, even though the family said it wasn't?
It was a derivative work.
It was edited. The only way the family say that is because I forgot his name. I'll be sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's that. How they know? A lot of stuff their mother did, they didn't know. And I'd like to say apologize to the mother.
Your boy looked like another Bishop T.D. Jakes.
And the family for the picture being on front of it.
Right.
You understand? I didn't put it there.
Right.
So, they got to worry about bigger things.
Right.
Than what her diary was. You understand?
Right.
They should have started worrying when he was beating her.
Right.
When you start worrying about your mother after the fact.
Right. So the book, do you think?
Yo, you just pulled one of those. I'm gonna change the subject moves.
You'll ever like be open to the public or after this or?
That'll be the next thing. I've been contracted to go to Amazon and work out whatever legalities that may have existed prior so that we can republish the book.
Wow, so the public will get to
So that's see. So, yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. All right, look at his lawyer. Okay, y'all see she rocking look like Burberry. Okay, his lawyer is interesting because she has been in multiple things, and if you ask me, that lady always looking for a money grab. That's just if you were to ask me. She's always looking for a money
see
grab.
her actual words
Yes.
and thoughts.
So very
I
simple.
mean,
The
just
actual
right there, she said that, oh yeah, we gonna go to Amazon and I have contracts out so that I can repurpose the book and we can put it out. Why? So that they can get paid, right? That's the only reason why. All right. Book already out. Book already out. Whether it was this version or that version or whatever, the book's out there already.
an edited version. We'll be
That-
putting that out soon.
So I mean, I'm wondering, do you own the rights, I guess, or how does that work?
I guess on rights is given to me,
I'll
right?
say possession is not
Gotcha.
for the law. So.
The rights were given to him. Now, I wanted, again, you know what they not telling us? How him and Kim Porter were close. Right? That's what they not telling us. How him and Kim Porter were close. The things that have gone on with him and Kim Porter to even have her trust that person with this type of stuff. None of that has been spoke about. You know, so I find it to be quite interesting when you sit here and say, like, well, if none of that stuff has been spoken about, we know. Like, how do we know? How can we actually sit here and believe him if we don't know how he gets his source of information? Okay? I'd like to know how he gets his source of information.
He said possession of a trove of digital evidence from Diddy. A friend gave him 11 flash drives that belonged to the late Kim Porter. This story, you'll know that Kim Porter is Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the mother of 4 of his kids.
We know.
On those drives, the witness says,
but that ain't what I want to know. I want to know how they friends.
8 videos featured 8 celebrities
And why did she felt comfortable enough with him like he was the
at Diddy freak-offs or parties, and that 6 were males.
I also want to know that if they were friends for the length of times that they were friends, right? And you said you knew Diddy, but you've never met him. I question, how big was y'all's friendship?
2 were females. The drive also included a manuscript of an alleged Kim Porter memoir, a memoir that her 4 kids insist is fake. Courtney Burgess told his story on a podcast before he told the grand jury today, and
the kids said it's fake.
After he told the grand jury, and I mean immediately after, he booked it over to my set, and he and his attorney talked to me. I should tell you
it was probably right across the street.
That he was very limited in how much detail he could go into about his testimony. And because the 8 people in the videos, the 8 celebrities in the videos were allegedly victims of sex crimes, we know who they are, but we will not be naming them, famous or not.
So they know who they are, but ain't nobody naming them, huh?
Here now is my conversation with Courtney Burgess and Ariel Mitchell, who's his attorney, beginning with the question of whether the participants in the video even knew they were being recorded.
I saved $700 with Liberty Mutual.
They knew.
Crazy what you can get with those savings.
Oh, come on with the survey. No, this ad don't relate to me.
Were there any cameras in places where you'd assume privacy, like bathrooms?
Well, I've never been in the
Yes. Yes.
You don't know
That's what took place.
You're aware.
that.
You're aware of surreptitious cameras that were recording in private places like
I didn't
bathrooms.
see the cameras. You could tell how the person was angled.
You know what's funny about that is, okay, that's what they told us, but other people who've been there, other people who have been filmed, other people who have been in it, basically said, man, that boy had 3 cameras to see.
I knew that it was a camera there because I was there. Yeah. I don't know if the person was too tall, he was holding it or whatever, but I wasn't there.
May I ask you this, Courtney? And Ariel, you can jump in on this as well, but I want to hear from Courtney first. Your home was raided by federal authorities, and I assume it is because of this material. Is that true?
I wouldn't say that. They just went to every one of them looking for me. They said, the paperwork said the 24th, that I had to be there the 28th, and then it was the 27th. I said, I can't make it there, that's tomorrow. So I don't know. From the look of it, it was 4 days.
And I want to be specific. When we talk about a raid, we're talking about when a subpoena is served for documents, a search warrant or an arrest warrant. In this situation, Mr. Burgess was not in any way, shape, or form had a search warrant or an arrest warrant issued for him. It was just them serving a subpoena. So when the federal government needs to serve a subpoena, they use the Marshal Service to come to all of your residences if you have more than one residence. So in this situation, they sent marshals to all of Mr. Burgess's residences, and that was somehow construed or understood or turned into a raid, but he did not face a raid. It was just to serve him.
Got it. Ariel, do you believe that the subpoenas were issued and executed based on the federal authorities' knowledge that these flash drives existed and had this kind of compromising material?
I think.
Look, man, here's the thing. All right. If they did go in there and or looked for that, it's because they want the stuff for themselves, to keep it for themselves.
It was based on statements that Mr. Burgess made in a prior.
And those statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could, given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury.
And all that.
Having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appear to be?
We saw that.
To be honest, all
were victims
or
victims. Were perpetrating.
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized.
Yeah,
meaning
victim.
This was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors?
Oh, that explains it.
2 to 3, possibly 3.
2 to 3. Also on the Courtney was what looked to be a manuscript written by, it appears to be a woman who had taken Kim Porter's private a book. Is that accurate?
We don't know.
I
don't know how. Yeah.
I don't know how. Who wrote it, put it together, but it was from her when I spoke to.
So you don't know how it got put together, who wrote it?
Her.
What you received on the flash drives, was it the completed?
I spoke to her.
Who had taken Kim Porter's private journals and had written a book. Is that accurate?
We don't know.
I don't know
how. Yeah.
I don't know how. Who wrote it? Spoke to her.
What you received on the flash drives, was it the completed book or was it notes from Kim Porter that later were made into a book?
It was completed. It's only 60, only 4 pages. It was
Sure. And in the beginning, it says, Kim made me promise that if something happened to her, I would make sure this book became public to the world. The way Sean moved, I knew that was a promise I would have to fulfill. Kim knew I was a woman of my word, and this book was going to make it to print. So it sounds like it is a woman who wrote up the notes from Kim Porter. Does that sound accurate?
So here's where the messy part comes in, okay? So what you're telling us is that Kim didn't necessarily write what he has in front of him to read, which means that it played its part in someone else's hand. Now we question the legitimacy of it, because it's like, well, okay, let's just say I'm telling one person, hey, this, and this. Jerry went down the street, walked down the street, kicked a can, right? The person that I told decides to go rewrite my story, and they go, Jerry walked down the street and threw the can, right? When in my story, I kicked the can. In his story, he threw the can. So this is why this going to court can be a bit of an issue.
It's how you read it. I haven't even read the book.
Do you know who the woman is?
No.
And to be clear, he received it in its complete form. So I just to make sure clarity here.
Yeah.
Let's have some clarity. You received it in a complete form from someone other than Kim Porter. Okay?
Manuscript that Mr. Burgess received was already in its complete form. It's not that he edited it or changed anything.
Got it.
He didn't have to. Whoever sent that to you already did that. You didn't need to, because you already said it didn't come from the horse.
He did give it to someone else who then edited it, but that's not how he received it.
Okay, so Ariel did
that he edited it in complete form. So I think just to make sure we have some clarity here, the manuscript that Mr. Burgess received was already in its complete form. It's not that he edited it or changed anything.
Got it.
He did give it to someone else who then edited it, but that's not how he received it.
Okay.
So then you went and took that same paperwork, gave that to okay. So there's party number one who gave it to you. That puts two people in possession. You went, you turned around and you gave that to someone else so that someone else can put it together or edit or play with it. Now that is three people. Okay. You say you didn't touch it, right? The book happened to come out, well, a little while ago. So how did that happen?
Okay. So Ariel, did your client, Courtney, receive the book from the woman who seems to have written it, saying, I'm a woman of my word, and this book is going to make it to print?
I don't know if he received it from a man or a woman. He can answer that.
I received it from a man. I tell you, somebody she was dating.
So, all right. Okay. So he received it from a man. A woman wrote the book, and it wasn't Kim. Okay. Kim wrote some stuff down. A friend of Kim's was reading the stuff written, turned it into something else. This is what we're getting straight from these two. I'm just coming up with the background of it as they say it, okay? So, again, the book, Kim was writing like a diary. A friend of hers read over and goes, damn, Kim, that shit's messed up. I'm going to make sure this gets to print. Kim passes away. The friend goes, I remember this, I remember that, I remember this, I remember that. Writes it all down. Then somehow it goes to someone in between them, right? And then the person in between, which a guy, gives it to him. So now, this book has done touched a few hands. And then he gave it to someone else to edit.
I saved hundreds with
Good.
You all needed the break. That's what that was.
Do you know if the notes from the book really were from Kim Porter?
It was, yes, because I spoke to her probably like 6 hours before I got it, received it.
You spoke to Kim Porter?
Yes.
So Kim.
Just saying hi. Didn't
Okay, Ariel, go ahead and give me clarity on the time.
Provide clarity of
Pause, because that made even less sense. Less sense. Okay, Kim been dead for a bit. All right, and I know we don't have a timeline on when this book was sent to him, or this and that, or that and this. That didn't make no damn sense.
Was there a conversation with
No,
her?
I was
or
talking
just-
to the person, and he said, "Hold up, this is Courtney. Be right here. Let me say something to him." He said, "I know him. Put me on speaker." Then that's how we end up speaking.
And then later, somebody brought somebody else came and brought you the manuscript.
Right. Before I left ATL.
To the best of your knowledge, Courtney, do you believe that the manuscript is,
to the best of my knowledge, I don't believe half this shit,
truly based on Kim Porter's diaries? Because there is a lot of dialogue in there. I mean, there's pages and pages of actual dialogue, which, I mean, I can't remember breakfast today, let alone dialogue from 5, 10, 15, and 20 years ago.
I guess this is a woman's score. You understand? Maybe,
sounds good.
what she been through. It's,
Sounds real good.
I'm not a woman, so I'm just going by how I got female friends and relatives. They always come to the house scoring because what went on in their relationship. And when you score, you can't forget it.
Important to stop down here for a moment and note again that Sean Combs is accused. He has not been convicted of any crimes. And so far, everything against him is an allegation until it is proven in a court of law and a jury, or he decides to sign.
Well, I'm glad she stopped to make that. Now, here's the thing, though. What I was stating about the lawyer that's involved with this, the lady that we just saw, what's her name? This one right here. All right. Ariel she been in some ships. All right, let me show you what I'm talking about real fast. I'm going to take you to it because, you see, this is why I say we got to do background research on the people we trust and we put out here in these cases, okay? See, celebrity or high profile lawyer / on the other side of the celebrities for a while now. Look at this. Miami lawyer accused of offering $200K to change testimony in case involving celebrities. You read the name. I want you to read the name. All right. Ariel Mitchell, who is the attorney that we just seen on TV. Daddy be out soon. It's in the office. Who we just seen on TV. Yep, Ariel, an attorney accused. Now, I didn't out if it did or didn't play out. I'm assuming that it was probably like swept under the rug. This was in Miami in 22. Right now, I think it's New York where they're working out of. So, you can have your law licenses in different places. But let's just break this down because, I think it goes into question of the character of the lawyer taking care of this case. Now, a Fort Lauderdale attorney filed a motion in Miami-Dade Circuit Court on Tuesday in which he alleged the opposing counsel engaged in witness tampering litigation stemming from claims of sexual assault against prominent musicians. Jeffrey A. Neymar is a partner at a certain place, and he represents Tremaine Neverson, also known as Charles. Okay, so this person represents Trey Songz. Defendants in the matter include Sean Combs, also known as P. Diddy, along with the venue in which sexual assault allegation was 11's nightclub. Neymar claimed in court filings that Ariel May, lawyer that is going against Diddy in this case, and she always comes up with some real interesting individuals, was the sole practitioner based in the Miami who represents the plaintiff in this matter, independent witness to change to corroborate the plaintiff's version of events. In exchange, Mitchell would allegedly pay the witness in between $100,000 and $200,000, depending on the case ultimate statement amount, according to the motion. Now, obviously, Neymar claimed in the motion that witness denied the offerings, but corroborated the defendant's version of events. But Mitchell said Tuesday that a previous attorney for the defendants filed a complaint against the bar band that contained the same allegations. The attorney and cleared her for wrongdoing in 2021. Well, that's interesting. Because I would have to look back and see. They said they cleared her in July. It is to see when this case went on and took place with her and Tremaine. 2021. And Mitchell filed. They said that they basically didn't find anything wrong with her wrongdoing realistically. I just question the fact of the matter that it even had to get to that point. The attorney would basically say that that is something that you have done. That's where it gets messy with that person. So I say that to say that you got to be careful around these parts and be careful with the people they bringing up. You see, we think about it and we look at it and go, all these lawyers are cool, but we don't really know. As you can hear, my office door is getting banged on. So I'm going to have to come back and keep up with you all. I got another video of her doing some stupid stuff on another day. I'll bring it to you. Thank you for tuning in to The Twisted Tea, where we come to bring you a twist. I want y'all to go ahead and enjoy your Friday night. Stay out of trouble. Never let them see you sweat. And peace out.